Hello everyone, welcome to my folio2 reflection video. Let me use this video to introduce my achievement this semester. I hope to make it through the topic of how traditional fairy tales adapt to modern society, modernize and integrate into modern social life. There have been excellent workers adapting traditional fairy tales very early on, such as the well-known Disney Princess series, and there have been many different kinds of adaptations since then, putting these traditional fairy tales in a modern context, and then leading out my question. Even in rapidly changing society of information technology innovation, there are still a considerable number of groups with stereotypes. I hope to make a short animation of the main group for young people to show the phenomenon of stereotype and give this question to the classic fairy tales character and produced by combining different deduction methods such as frame-by-frame animation, software control, and paper puppet animation. At the same time, I also face my challenge, whether the frame-by-frame animation drawing and the animation duration can cover what I want expression phenomenon. I view the short animation revolving rhymes mix a character from 6 different traditional fairy tales in the context of modern society for animation. Through humorous storyline and the redesigned character image, the animation gives people a dazzling feeling. The animation compares the stark contrast between fairy tales and the reality through 2 storylines, while also giving children a warning that good and evil are not distinguished by appearance. And another animation movie, Puss in Boots, skillfully combined 3 fairy tales that are well known in Europe: Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack and Jill, Mr. Dwarf, full of feeling of cowboys, and the classic movie Zorro. Characters such as Puss in Boots are also endowed with very distinctive personalities, subverting the traditional setting of fairy tale characters, especially the setting of Mr. Shortly, who is both good and evil. Next, I will follow the steps before to create animation. In the end, I made a short animation of 1.5 minutes. I hope use animation to explain how to resolve the stereotypes of others, break the inherent concept to embrace the reality of others, animated appearances, and explore the truth, goodness, and the beauty in the heart. Let me talk about the work I did in the early visual stage. First, I made the mood board. For the background part, I put the story in the city. I hope to the home of protagonist Little Red Riding Hood is warm and lovely. Between the cute version and the potential character Rattle, I searched for some excellent creation of the same kind. In terms of concept setting, I hope that my painting style will be a solid color block, simple style, and the characters' faces round and cute. So my color palette is also the colors are extracted based on the mood board. Most warm colors with some cool colors, and tend to match the color of traditional fairy tales character illustration. After data collection and visual foreshadowing, I first draw a draft and finally decide on 3 final images. The Little Red Riding Hood is a young and energetic girl who exudes in innocence and curiosity. Just like her in fairy tale, she still wears a red hood, like many adolescent growth, she has a longing for a handsome prince and like to dress herself up and carefully. She has the stereotype of gray wolf brought by traditional fairy tales. The big gray wolf is the intentional appearance look like very scary. Wear windbreakers and round-rimmed sunglasses. He looks so scared and taciturn, but he is actually a very gentleman. He is a photographer by profession. He often comes to coffee shop to produce photos, and he is actually a vegetarian. He is an activist, but he is afraid of being ridiculed by others and doesn't often talk to the others. The princess come out as a charismatic and warm man. Even in modern times, he still wears a crown and a bow tie. In the coffee shop, he exudes a charm and charisma, and he is not afraid of physical contact, making the surrounding astronomy a little ambitious. However, his appearance quickly collapsed. In fact, he is a real philosopher. He often dates different fairy tales heroines. Then I drew the storyboard, and through a date, let Little Red Riding Hood understand that handsome prince does not have to be really brave, and the big bad wolf does not have to be stupid and evil, villain in memory. In the animation drawing part, I first draw the concept screen and try different color shades. Here are some key frames for you. In the small parts of paper puppet, I use paper puppet cutting to perform in the actual scenes, which is different from the two-dimensional drawing, and also distinguish the reality of Little Red Riding Hood and the small theater in her brain. In the frame-by-frame animation part, as simple as blinking an eye, I also use at least 7 frames to represent a small animation change. I hope to draw frame by frame through the two styles of normal proportion and the cube version. On the one hand, the drawing cost is reduced, and on the other hand, the cube version can express movement and expression more extraordinarily. In terms of background music, I choose to use character music and music that matches the environment. For example, the background music is Little Red Riding Hood is lively and cheerful, which reflects her good mood for a date. The background song mostly use instruments such as piano and triangles. In the curve, it matches sales music commonly used in the cafes. When the relationship between Prince and Little Red Riding Hood heats up, the music becomes ambiguous, and however, when the gray wolf appeared, I used the dark music to match the chilling appearance of gray wolf, and finally choose is reviewed and the music returned to is. In terms of sound effects, Little Red Riding Hood footsteps are bricks, while Big Bad Wolf's footsteps are steady. The ambient sound effects use the sound of a spoon hit a coffee cup, as well as some conversation and close rubbing. The sound effect of pillows use wolf, holes, girls' laughter, tones of voice, and boys' tones of voice, exactly. Instead of dubbing, it is mainly based on the performance of pilots. After completing the study and the production of this semester, I first explored different forms of expression in animation production and also strengthening the practice of frame-by-frame animation. After a certain amount of practice, I deeply felt its charm, but at the same time, I still need to improve the software application practice. I think the process of some shots is still a bit rigid. But I think the expression of paper puppet is very interesting. It spans space and performs in the real world. By drawing, cutting, and moving formed a small animation. On the other hand, taking break stereotypes as the theme of this semester, I have a lot of feeling because of the time and the workload of drawing. I can't cover too many and too deep truths, so I feel a little regretful. I hope that through some comparisons, such as the prince in traditional fairy tales, usually appears in a positive image, tall, handsome, and brave. However, I hope to make a strong constructed and set up a cowardly and greasy image. In fact, Grey Wolf is a gentleman with a gentle heart, even if he at the same time it also leads me to discuss to judgment and appearance, whether it is Little Red Riding Hood's military colors dressing up for a date, or he preconception that the handsome prince is a positive image and the ugly grey wolf is a negative image. It satisfies our current judgment of other people's appearance and the problem of appearance anxiety. I hope to use traditional animation images to tell the audience that in modern society, they will also be affected by this problem in today's society. Even if there are people in fairy tales, they are not perfect and will appear paranoid. And what we have to do is that about bringing down prejudices and open our hearts to embrace myself, my true self, and those around us. In the next stage, I hope to continue to serialize this story and the more traditional fairy tales character, continue to explore some problem of modern society and express them through animation. And I hope to have a deeper expression in the character in animation production. I hope to have more frame-by-frame animation and make more paper puppet scenes, so as to achieve a novel way to animation interpretation.